It's a battle of expansion teams here in Week 11 of the Simulation Football League as Pittsburgh comes into Albuquerque, New Mexico to take on the Adams. Good evening, folks. I'm Tyler Falk here in the booth alongside Alden Bleeker. The stats truck is Jadooby-Doo, Corey Menner, and Andrew Gibson. And back at headquarters, it's our producer, SFL Commissioner Kevin Irvine. It's not the first time these two teams have met. They met twice already in the SFLM. And here today is their first meeting here in the SFL proper. Alden, glad to have you here. Let's talk about this team. Albuquerque is needing to possibly catch the coattails of Arizona for that West Division and possibly move into a playoff spot.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not quite on the outside looking in, but it's one of those situations where you gotta start winning out to even have a shot. And Pittsburgh definitely have a chance to play spoiler and play for pride here tonight.
Two with a standard uniform sets. Albuquerque green tops, white bottoms. Pittsburgh white tops, black helmets, black bottoms. As we are set for kickoff, Albuquerque 4-4, Pittsburgh 1-7. Pittsburgh looking to try and keep pace and hold on for dear life as here we go from New Mexico. On the return, it's Michael Knight for the Adams, and he brings it all the way up to the 35-yard line. Out trots the quarterback for these Albuquerque Adams, Cyrus Jive, and Jive has had, well, he's had a pretty decent last couple of games. 5 touchdowns, no picks, and for the last 3 games, a completion percentage over 60%. He's been on an absolute tear.
Yeah, and it's really typical of the kind of season he's had. Second in the league with 142 completions and third in the league with 1,700 plus passing yards. I mean, he is a menace when he gets going.
Start out with a spread little look. Blitz coming, picked up nicely. Jive hits his man on the numbers, crossing the 45-yard line of Pittsburgh. And that's a good way to start the ball game. A completion to K. Marion.
Yeah, one of his favorite targets, and for good reason. I mean, man, just the ability to thread the needle by Cyrus Jive, and he sets her up to potentially burst away there, and that is just a fantastic pitch and catch.
Already Albuquerque trying to flip the field. They only started this drive only just a few seconds ago from their own 35. A gain of 21 on the first play of the game. Jive again will look to pass middle. Another 10-plus yard pickup for Albuquerque. Jack Wall hauls it in.
The big man, Jack Wall, and this is something that I always feel like I talk about with Jack Wall. He is just such a big target in the middle of the field. He can just kind of loft up the ball and have him reach those big, long arms out to grab it, and that's another instance of what he does there, just sort of lofts it up, and Jack Wall goes up and grabs it. He's a big wall in the middle of the field.
Mighty fine start. They'll give him 13 on the play as he continues to be in the down line set from the 30-yard line out of Pittsburgh. Another shot across the middle. 14 more for Albuquerque. They are flying down the field into the red zone.
They are absolutely flying, and it's all the receivers are running their routes perfectly. They are dissecting the coverage, and Cyrus Jive is setting them up absolutely perfectly. This is a pitch perfect start to this drive for Albuquerque.
Let's quickly go through the roll call here on offense. Craig Reynolds, Jason Williams are the tailback, to Justin Williams at fullback. Ronnie Shanahan, Michael Knight, Greg Cook, K. Marion are the wideouts, and it's caught for a touchdown. An explosive start here for Albuquerque and K. Marion.
And Albuquerque understand the situation that they are in. They may be an expansion team, but they understand they've got to win out to get into the playoffs, and they put their foot onto the gas immediately, flipping the field on a very short number of passes by Cyrus Jive, and they're going to look to keep that Pittsburgh secondary on their back foot all night long if they can.
Cyrus Jive goes 4 for 4 on the opening drive. Not a single completion was fewer yards than 13, and they go 65 yards in just over a minute and a half.
I mean, it really says it all when they literally got down the field faster than you could fully introduce their offense. Just a fantastic start to this game for the Albuquerque offense.
Albuquerque, who in the SFLM has fallen to Pittsburgh, who's now returning to football twice in both their meetings to the Riverhogs. Starts off strong here at home as the return gets all the way up to the 35-yard line for Pittsburgh and out-trots the Riverhog offense, led by quarterbacks Eric Price and Michael Brown. We saw more there at Price in the first half of this season, but Michael Brown's now taking more of a leadership role. In the last couple of games, it's been some hit or miss. A game where he threw no touchdowns against DC in the 20-0 shutout loss. But last week versus Louisiana, he goes 18 of 30 for 2 touchdowns in that one. As the run up the middle is a good start on the ground while Albuquerque tries to find holes to the air. It's number 23, Mike Churchill, doing things on the ground. He's one of the 2 tailbacks alongside BB Blitz and Cooper Allen at fullback. Devin Lloyd, Ben Harrison, and Connor Weston are the wideouts with Keith Wheeler at tight end. And on the line, in the trenches, it's Rachel Menner, Bruce White, and Taylor Menner. Another run and fumble, and Albuquerque scoops it up and will finally be brought down at the 44-yard line. Heads up awareness from this defense to take care of the loose football.
Man, and I believe that was, we're going to see here. Yeah, that was Bryant James that popped the ball loose, just lurked around the outside there and got inside, popped that loose on the tackle. And man, we talked about how fast Albuquerque got down the field. They don't even have to flip the field this time. They're already inside enemy territory.
Bryant James with the scoop, or the hit, I should say. William Patterson, the outside linebacker, with the recovery, as now for the first time we'll see the running game go very well. Another 10-plus play for the Adams to begin the game. That's 5 in a row now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really been something that, you know, besides the fumble, both teams have had that running game that they've been able to establish so far. Albuquerque are a huge threat with the pass, as we've seen. We'll be able to see if they're able to continue to keep their foot on the gas here.
Passing play. Here is a good one over the middle, wide open, down inside the 5-yard line for Ronnie Shanahan. First and goal for Albuquerque.
Oh man, and it's a great pass. He tries to shake off the coverage there to try to just take that little bit of space and blow it open for a touchdown. And you see there, it goes to blow past 24 there for Pittsburgh. And man, this is fantastic field position for Albuquerque. It just seems like Albuquerque can do no wrong with the ball in their hands.
Here's a run again through the middle. Albuquerque can do nothing wrong as Jason Williams saunters into the end zone. Touchdown, Adams.
I mean, you talk about taking advantage of opportunities. Albuquerque flip, they get the fumble and they flip the opportunity immediately. 2 rushing plays and one pass, and they get into the end zone. Albuquerque are absolutely flying. I mean, we're not even particularly close to the halfway point of this quarter.
And the extra point is up and good from Ricky Bobby. And it's the Adams who quickly jump out to a 2-score lead, and we have barely crossed over the 3-minute mark in this game. On the return now here for Pittsburgh, a massive, make it 2! Double time there from Ben Harrison.
Man, and Ben Harrison says, okay, well, you're going to get the field position by the fumble. I'm just going to run the heck over every green shirt I see, lays the shoulder, lays the wood again, and gets darn near the 50-yard line.
And so from their own 39-yard line, we'll see if they can keep better control of the football after a brilliant return. Some vicious shoulder charges from Ben Harrison. Blitz coming here from Albuquerque. Flip out near side. On the run is Mike Churchill with plenty of space down the sideline. That crosses midfield for a gain of about 12.
And it's a really good job by Churchill to read, or excuse me, by Brown to read the coverage and just see that there's that slot on the outside, just nobody around able to easily pick up the first down and then some.
Now 1st and 10. Second play of the drive from the Adams 49-yard line come the Riverhawks. Another run up the middle. That's only going to gain about 1 and give us time to introduce you to the Adam defense. Chris Porter, Leo Jefferson, and Joshua Williams all coming over from Atlanta in the offseason to start off Albuquerque. They're on the defensive line. Keaton Samuels and William Patterson are the outside linebackers, with Seth Berlin splitting the pair at middle linebacker. Amar Bryant Jr. and Daniel Valentine are the corners. Jack Napier, Bryant James, and TJ Frosty at safety, but there is nothing and the quarterback can do about that one as Leo Jefferson comes in and takes down the QB.
And man, how about that? Get the big man getting some vert, trying to get the pass block off, but he realizes, hey, that little froggy leap gets him into the backfield, and he's just, oh, I'll take that sack, thank you very much.
Loss of 4. He does a great job of getting his hands up there to stop the passing attempt and turn it into a pump fake, giving him time to get to the quarterback. And again, but this time, charging off the left tackle and nearly picking up the catch was Connor Weston, the favorite target of Michael Brown and Eric Price. But it falls incomplete, and it will be a punt.
And that is just a picture-perfect defensive drive by Albuquerque. The pressure, the coverage, not letting that great pass by Michael Brown break their mentality, and they do a great job to hold on.
Fair catch called for by the Adams return man, Ronnie Shanahan. The Adams will take over. They're on their own 17. They've had a couple of great drives, very short drives. They have not even had to flip the down marker yet. It's always stayed on 1 through their first 7 plays. Jive will hand off through the middle, and this time being stopped before the first down marker was Jason Williams. So finally, a defensive stand of some importance here for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and the forward momentum really looked like he was going to go across the line there. So even when Albuquerque have things that go against them, somehow it still lands in their favor.
Another run here for the Adams, and that one will go for 2 yards as it's picked up by Craig Reynolds.
And again, it's just the trench warfare on these runs. That was a classic case of the offensive line setting things up for your running back, just creating a little bit of space, and he dives across the line with the forward momentum, going to pick up the yardage.
So a nice little in route is caught by Marion for a gain of 6.
K. Marion's been a really reliable target so far, getting over 40 yards thus far in this game, and Cyrus Jive creeping ever closer to that century mark, and in fact has just crossed it.
There's another run trying to push the pile is Williams, a former fullback, and he is eventually taken down just a couple yards shy of the line to gain by Roy Addish. And let's introduce you to the Riverhawk defense, who've been on the field already 3 times, but haven't been yet to tell you about them. Butch Metter and Bubba Bruiser are the defensive tackles, with Gino McFly, Dimitri Monzuma at outside linebacker, Cody Griffin, Adam Nold, and Tom Krieger are the corners, as they try and get to the backfield, and they do. Led out there by Tom Krieg. I just said his name, and he comes up with a tackle for loss, and that will result in a punt, the first punt of the day for Albuquerque.
Yeah, and that's a huge stop for Pittsburgh. I mean, Albuquerque have really had 2 amazing offensive drives and finally able to slow them down there.
Punt is away. Fair catch called for by Pittsburgh's return man. And the final 2 players we had yet to mention for the Riverhawk defense is strong safety Kane Vasquez and free safety Corey Menner, playing double duty for us tonight. A special shout out to our stats crew. Of course, Corey's in there. Andrew Gibson's in there. And Jadoobie-Doo is also in there in his first game in the stat struck. So welcome to the team, Jadoobie. As the Pittsburgh Riverhawks set to go to work here from just outside their own 30. And trying to find some semblance of an offense down the left-hand side, looking for Weston, and that's incomplete. As the league's leading receiver, unable to haul that pass in.
Yeah, and that's really been the big bright spot for Pittsburgh. Connor Weston, an absolute weapon when he gets going, leading the league in receptions, passing yards, and top 3 in receiving touchdowns. So, you know, he's one of those big pieces you can really build around.
Pass looking over the middle, incomplete. Again intended for Weston. Jack Napier in coverage for the Adams. Now it brings up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and really just a good job on the coverage there. That wasn't really a case of a bad throw or, you know, receiver underrunning the route. Just great coverage by Albuquerque there.
4 wide as Brown goes under center. 5-man rush. Brown having to take off, but he cannot escape Leo Jefferson for his 2nd sack of the night.
And it is, again, just the sheer athleticism of the big man setting up the play. We're going to see it again, a big spin move that beat 2 blocks to get him into the backfield and get that drive-ending sack. What a fantastic display of pressure all game long from Albuquerque on defense.
Jefferson, who led the team in sacks with 3, is now 1 away from doubling his total sack total this season. As the Adams will try and make a return out of this one. Ronnie Shanahan gets it up to the 38-yard line, and now out comes the Adams offense once again. As mentioned earlier, after the Arizona loss to Denver last week, now that West Division gets a little bit tighter, now the Adams find themselves only 3 games back outside of Arizona. We sit at 7-1. Adams, of course, at 4-4. A win here tonight would certainly help their cause for a late division push. Pass right side, nearly taken away. Excellent coverage from the strong safety, Kane Vasquez.
Yeah, and if you're Albuquerque, you're on a decent run of form with the 2 wins. If you win this one, you've got a bye week next week to really scout that last your finale week, last game, a divisional game against Los Angeles. I think you're in a good position as Albuquerque to make that spot if you win here tonight.
Blitz coming pass middle off the hands of Jack Wall. And it brings up 3rd down. Pittsburgh coming around now with some good defensive play.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really the thing. When you've got 2 good receiving cores and 2 quarterbacks, you can really expect both coaches on the defensive side of the ball to really turn up the man coverage, double coverage, triple coverage. And that's really just what we've seen tonight.
Blitz coming as Jive rolling, firing, wide open is Michael Knight breaking a tackle, and he's 1 more man to beat near the 15-yard line. How do you leave him that wide open?
Not only how do you leave him wide open, I mean, just the sheer vision of Cyrus Jive to find that down the sideline as he's going through his progressions. Yeah, there's not a white shirt in front of him, and that one broken tackle sets up a huge gain, a 46-yard reception. That is absolutely outstanding, not only receiver play, but quarterback play to set it up.
And hats off to that offensive line, just buying Jive enough time. Porter, Jones, and Williams doing that. They've done that all game long, and this time, Jive tried to fit that pass in there to Greg Corky. You can't find the football.
Man, and Cyrus Jive just throwing with so much confidence, and it's hard to say that it's not due. You know, even when you're throwing with the great coverage by Pittsburgh, I mean, he just feels like they're going to connect and they're going to bust off for big yardage, because to be fair, they have.
Defensive coverage shifts in response to Albuquerque changing the play at the line. Blitz coming, delayed handoff. Williams through the middle. Untouched for the first 8 yards. He picks up 9.
Yeah, and that's a great job, exactly as you say, responding to the blitz with the change, and a great job to run that almost up the gut for the 10 yards. And oh man, this is you got to make a stand if you're Pittsburgh.
Heavy run look out of Albuquerque. Looking to try to maybe run it to the near side as they have that strong side over there. Now a man in motion to the top side of your screen. It will be a fullback dive through the middle, and Justin Williams will pick it up. First and goal, Albuquerque.
Yeah, and that is really the ideal situation for that exact kind of run. Don't try to overcomplicate things. Don't try to, for crying out loud, don't try to go for a goal line pass in a situation like that. But just a great job getting the yardage. Nothing special, nothing fancy, but it gets you 4 more downs.
Jive would like Marion to go a little bit out wider as there's another fullback dive upcoming. This time by the backup pass, who gains a couple of yards on first down, setting up second and goal from just inside the 3.
Yeah, pass with the run there. And I mean, that's really really interesting to see Albuquerque with very classic fullback play here so far. Just get him in there to dive it up the middle for a few yards.
I'm a fan of the fullback dive, but also a good fan of some power running. Unfortunately, even though he was turning his legs, Jason Williams is going to lose a yard. Good plugging of the holes from Pittsburgh. Forces a third down. When we come back, end of 1 as the hometown Adams trying to put away Pittsburgh early. It's 14-0. Welcome back to Jornada del Muerto Stadium here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Tyler Falk, Alden Bleeker here on the call. It's 3rd and goal here for the Adams. Jive will just hand it off to Jason Williams, who dives for the line, and he will cross the plane. Touchdown, Adams. They lead by 3 scores.
Man, and just when you think it's a tough 3rd down situation for Albuquerque earlier in the drive, they managed to find a way to convert and just continuing to grind with the running game. I mean, again, it really feels like a complete offensive performance whenever Albuquerque have the ball. They can pass, they can run, and they even when their backs are against the wall, it somehow motivates them to push even harder.
And the field goal is up a good 21-0 in favor of the hometown faithful, and they are loving it here at the moment. The Yinzer faithful, those hailing from Pittsburgh, find themselves in familiar territory from when they faced DC just a few weeks ago. Maybe a good return here will help lift their spirits as Lloyd is the one who takes it all the way out to the 30-yard line. Now they have some work to do here, Alden. They're in this hole. They've been here before. What are some things to learn from being in a double-digit multi-score hole?
I think you look to the other side of the ball and look at what's been successful for Albuquerque, because Michael Brown is no slouch as a quarterback, and you've got a fantastic offensive weapon in Connor Weston. So I think you've got to lean on that passing attack and make it work.
It's coming, nothing doing. Brown is taken down from the outside by Chris Porter, and then it's the defensive end who gets the tack, the 3rd one of the game for this Albuquerque defense.
And I didn't want to say it because it almost felt like a commentator's curse, but you really do not want to take sacks on this drive.
Press coverage now on the outside from the Adams corners. Brown looks for a quick one over the middle, caught. Gain the yard is lost, and then some. Ben Harrison picks up 5.
Yeah, man, it feels like a true 1-yard pass based on just how massive that sack was, just rushing around the outside. The pressure by Albuquerque has been so massive this entire game.
Trips now to Brown's right. Look to throw a 4-man rush screenplay, which developed pretty good, but not good enough. As William Patterson takes down the ball carrier. We 4th and 5. And a punting situation again for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, man, and really, that sack turned out to be, I would say, the decisive play of that drive. Pushed them back 5 yards, and if you take away those 5 yards, well, all of a sudden, that's a conversion.
And here is the punt. Their third one of the game for Pittsburgh. And the return gets all the way up to the 37-yard line. The SFL convention is headed to Baltimore for the 2025 convention, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th through the 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor and revel in the league's first convention on the East Coast. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. Run through the middle, a gain of 5 for thrill units.
Yeah, and again, it's just the ability to run it up the middle has been so crucial for Albuquerque when they are running. You know, when you're not leaning on Cyrus Jive, that's really been the thing, is run it up the middle.
On to the left-hand side as the Pittsburgh defense collapse cleanly, and we'll need to see more of that. Great job from Furrier there to get in and stop the ball carrier. And we've seen spurts here, Aldener, already early from this Pittsburgh defense. We know that they can stop them. They just have to be able to do that. And one of the strengths of this defense has been able to stop the pass. They're top 5 when it comes to stopping the pass, but they just really haven't been able to stop them too much early in this ball game. As again, Jive will look to throw. Open is Wall. He hauls it in this time, and just to put the point to bed is Jack Wall.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, Jack Wall is just so reliable. I mean, a former teammate of mine, it does give me, I must admit, a little bit of joy to see him in the middle, big, reliable target. But to your point, Pittsburgh defense have the second fewest passing yards allowed per game. They are 30 yards better than the league average.
Pitch play left for Jason. Williams goes nowhere. Good stop from this Pittsburgh linebacking core. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
And that's the thing. If you can stop Albuquerque's ability to run it up the middle as they've been able to so far, and then continue to do the things that you've been able to do so well as a secondary unit, you can maybe do something.
Dive with plenty of time. Now decides to unload it. It hits off of the hands of the defender. Lockstep in coverage was Corey Menner, denying the big play.
Yeah, absolutely. Was with him all the way there. And that's exactly what we talk about when we talk about how Pittsburgh have a really good secondary, is when you've got that one-on-one coverage. Can you stick with these elite receivers?
A lot of stalwarts in there. Tom Krieg in his 8th season. Kane Vasquez in his 14th. Corey Menner, one who just made the play in his 9th season. So a lot of veterans there. John tries to take off, and that's what you want to see out of this newly expanded team, is a good stop on 3rd down. Farrier comes up with the sack.
Yeah, absolutely. Finds the hole in the middle was plugged up there by Pittsburgh, and so you see the ability to just step in there and stop it. That's a great defensive play by Pittsburgh, and they're gonna get a really crucial stop here.
So our longest drive of the ball game ends in a punt, which will go out of the back of the end zone, and we will start from the 20-yard line for this next possession here for Pittsburgh. Now the defense, Alden, has gotten a stop. What are you telling Brown and the rest of the Pittsburgh offense here on this drive?
Absolutely, under no circumstances allow a sack. That's where it starts, I think, and then, do the things that you can do well, pass it well.
Draw is picked up nicely by Albuquerque. They were not fooled, and Bryant James is in on the stop.
Because to my point, Albuquerque have really been sending pressure all game, and that makes it so tough to run up the middle when you're just constantly getting pressured every down, and you can just create a pocket and get some of these passes off.
Brown with pressure all around and trying to fit it into the maybe kneeling and spinning Keith Wheeler, the tight end, but cannot locate him. Brings up another 3rd down for Pittsburgh. They have yet to convert on a 3rd down here tonight.
Yeah, and that's what's so tough. I mean, Michael Brown is an all-star quarterback, and he's just facing so much pressure all game.
Brown takes off with it, gets it done himself. A great heads-up play for 12 yards and to keep the drive alive.
Well, he is third in the league for average rushing yards per for rushing yards per attempt among quarterbacks, 9.2 rushing yards per attempt. So it's certainly a weapon that he has in his arsenal. And as he continues to face pressure, I'd almost think that you want to draw that up.
Safety blitz coming. Brown has to get rid of it. Middle cut. There's Connor Weston's first catch of the night. And that one will go for around 15 plus.
And that is the secret sauce, I think, for this Pittsburgh offense. It's a great, just a little corner route that breaks up the double coverage there. And it's a great little pitch and catch by Brown to Connor Weston. And you've got to get Connor Weston involved. There's just no other way around it.
Comes the pitch right side, looking for BB Blitz, who maybe picks up a yard. Valentine there in on the stop for only a gain of 1.
And that's really good by Albuquerque, recognizing that, not every pass is going to be up the middle sometimes. And they got, if you recall in this game, a great little pass up the sideline. So recognizing that it's a potential strength of Pittsburgh and shoring it up.
Here comes the blitz from the outside. They get home again. Keenan Samuels tag teams with Leo Jefferson. Leo Jefferson's third sack of the night. Samuels is first, and this defense is hungry tonight.
Yeah, they hit the heart attack from the old school days of the World Wrestling Federation there. One sack low, 1 sack high. And man, the pressure from Albuquerque, it feels like we might be repeating ourselves, but it just cannot be said enough how tremendous the pressure has been.
And that one is blocked by Leo Jefferson. A heads-up play, recognizing the screen was developing and did a great job. He's done that nearly twice tonight.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Leo Jefferson has been such a part of the pressure that Albuquerque is throwing, but he is so athletic, throwing spin moves to break blocks and jumping up to tip passes. Are you kidding me?
The punt is away. No fair catch called for this time around by Shanahan. Means maybe a couple on the return up to the 32. So now it is time for Albuquerque's offense to come back on the field. They find themselves with a 3-score lead, with time on their side, and the potentiality to make it a 4-score lead with a good drive this trip. Pitch play left side. Jason Williams out of 1. Tackled from behind by Cody Griffin after a gain of 7. And it's just been, it started off with a lot of aerial assault, Alden, and now it's this ground game which is taken over.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's the correct play to the correct line of attack to go with too, because you're already up 3 scores. You don't need to really push heavily to continue scoring.
Formation, another pitch. This time it is Reynolds who gains the first down. Good blocking on the outside. Remove the chains.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's even when you're advancing up the field, I mean, just chewing so much time off the clock. It's going to be Pittsburgh that got the ball in the second half, but leaving them so little time to do anything if they do get the ball back this half.
Blitz coming, jive, and that is caught inside the 40, and rolling for more yards is Greg Corky.
And there's the passing game that we've seen all night long. I mean, we're going to see this again here. It's into man coverage, man, and that is just fantastic coverage there, but does pick up a big 22-yard chunk there.
And how about this from Cyrus Jive? He's been able to now locate and have them receive a pass. All of his wide receivers and tight ends,
every one of them,
doing a great job of trying to spread this football around through the air and get everybody involved as the running game goes nowhere this time. Jason Williams stood up at the line of scrimmage as we hit the 2-minute warning. 21-0, Adams have the lead. Officially a minute 59 to go here from New Mexico. The great Jornada del Muerto here in Albuquerque. Tyler Falcall and Bleeker here on the call. Glad to have you with us here for some Friday night football as coming up outside blitz coming. What a catch by K. Marion. That's our nice hands catch of the game for a first down. Brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. A phenomenal catch as she is being hit for the first down.
How about the fearlessness, leaning into the hit and rolling over? I mean, it was like two birds colliding in the air. It was fantastic.
He's just showing off. I agree with Guy in chat. Lots of happy Albuquerque fans down in chat. Go ahead and say hi to them as the run up the middle. It was for a good gain of 7 from Jason Williams as the clock ticks under a minute 15.
And you know what I think is really remarkable about the fact that every single receiver has been involved for Albuquerque? All of them have over 20 yards. It's not just like 5 or 6 yards.
Run, blitz for Reynolds for a first down. Timeout called for by the Adams, as it'll be 1st and 10 from just outside the Pittsburgh 11. Three wideouts here for Cyrus Jive. All on the left side for him. Blitz coming. Jive back in the end zone. Touchdown! K. Marion with another brilliant one-handed grab, and it's 27-0.
I mean, it's really a shame that we only have one Retroid nice hands catch of the game to give out because, again, it's K. Marion just with a fantastic route through the double coverage. She just sticks her arm out and it's like, oh, you're covering me in double coverage? No, thank you. I'm just gonna pick this out of the air if you don't mind. Just a fantastic pitch and catching K. Marion. What an athletic drive for her this drive.
The SFL version of the Albuquerque Adams is getting their revenge in full force against this Pittsburgh franchise, who in the SFLM has 2 victories over them and have not given up a single defeat. Right now, it is all Adams all night long.
Yeah, absolutely. And you gotta love it if you're an Albuquerque fan because the passing has been working, the running has been working. Cyrus Jive, 13.3 yards per attempt. This is some special passing that we're seeing from Cyrus Jive. Over 200 yards in the first half, by the way, as well.
And just under 18 yards per completion. A phenomenal day from the Albuquerque quarterback. And right now, it seems that Pittsburgh just has no answers. And speaking with Corey Menner here just before the game, and this Pittsburgh franchise still trying to work on a few things. They've been testing out this dual quarterback situation with Eric Price and Michael Brown just to figure out what direction they want to go with for the rest of this season and for seasons to come as he unloads middle. That's a good catch from Connor Weston, a gain of around 15. Quick timeout from the River Hog coaching staff. As you know, in these expansion franchises, not everyone can be a Minnesota or a Nashville or even an Albuquerque. There's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some tough games like this here, especially on the road if you're Pittsburgh. I mean, heck, just take a look at San Diego. In their first season went 0-12. Pittsburgh has 1 win, so they're 1 better than that expansion team, which is now defunct. Quick drop, picked off, back the other way. See you later, Keenan Samuels. It's 34-0. And Adams have just unloaded, have been uncorked, have been unstoppable in all phases of the game tonight.
And just when you think the Albuquerque defense cannot get any more locked in, just completely lurking in the zone, is just able to to make a phenomenal play on the ball to pick off Ben Harrison. Ben Harrison's looking at his hands like, I should have caught that ball. Where is it? It's going the other way. That is a fantastic play by Albuquerque.
Third defensive touchdown for Keenan Samuels. And the extra point will sail through the uprights. It's up and good. It's a route. And it's a friendly confine route at the moment for Albuquerque.
Yeah, a route or route, however you pronounce it. I mean, it's been all Albuquerque all day, and I still think Pittsburgh have something left in them. We're gonna have to see in the second half here.
Devin Lloyd up to the 28-yard line, and this is a spot in the maturation of this quarterback, Michael Brown, who has played in a couple of seasons. He's going to have to learn that, tonight it might not be the night for a massive comeback. Still plenty of time left to go, but it's going to take a lot of coaching, a lot of mentoring on that sideline to get him back and composed. That'll pass and flip out the right-hand side. It's going to take classes like that to get his confidence back. Nice, easy completions to the tailback. Mike Churchill gained 7. Second timeout for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, Michael Brown is an all-star quarterback, and so it's really a case of you just gotta, man, it's really a mentality game, as you say.
Brown flips again as Churchill out of 1 gains the first down, and the final timeout now called by the Riverhogs. That's it for them here in the first half.
Yeah, and really, I believe we saw for a play or two there, Eric Price come in. So continuing to experiment in the face of what's happening on the field here.
But backfield, they're on first down. They're going to have to try and go the full length of the football field, pass middle, caught. Churchill, 8 yards, back to the line they come. Under 15 seconds to go here in this first half.
Still got enough time to spike the ball, perhaps.
And he does. 9 seconds to go. And unless they got out of bounds, this upcoming play will be the final play of the first half.
Yeah, I would expect you're going to see an in route and an out route on this play. Just everything heading towards the sidelines here. I'd be very surprised if we don't.
Looks like they're going to try and play conservative, maybe try and run out the remainder of this clock as Weston goes in motion to the outside.
They got the ball in the second half, so it's maybe not the worst thing in the world.
Absolutely. Handoff and another third down misconversion. Brian James in the stop, and maybe mercifully for Pittsburgh, that's one half of football they will not want to look back on as they find themselves down 35 points to nothing. Alden, yeah, that's that's pretty much the synopsis, but walk us through this half.
I mean, Cyrus Jive was just absolutely explosive. The Adams offense, for no pun intended, were really multifaceted. Every single receiver involved, over 200 yards passing for Cyrus Jive. The defense has 4 sacks. It's just really been a complete performance. And to Pittsburgh's credit, Eric Price and Michael Brown, the combination, have over 60 yards passing. Connor Weston has 30 yards, so I think you got to get them involved. But K. Marion, Cyrus Jive really had a special connection in that first half.
We'll take a break, presented by Breaks GPT, and come back to you in the second half.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
An Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football, jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, breaksgpt.com. And we know football's crazy. It's going to take a crazy comeback here from Pittsburgh, but we've seen so much happen in this SFL season already. Maybe Pittsburgh can be the team that comes back down 35 points, and it has to start with a good opening drive.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta make a statement that that first half was what it was, and it's in the past, and we're moving on. You gotta move on, and that's all there is to it.
Still 20 minutes of football left to play. Still plenty of time. Work the football down the field. But there cannot be... They have to keep that first half out of their mind and just play it like it's 0-0. Hand up. Oh, it's a fumble. Scoop. It's going to be the second defensive touchdown for Albuquerque. Brian James, who forced a fumble earlier tonight, hauls one in himself, takes it to the barn. Another touchdown for Albuquerque.
Man, and that is just a case of hard to get around to the outside, and the pressure is already coming from that direction by Albuquerque. They send it from both directions. They send it up the middle, man, and it is so tough if you're trying to run the ball when the pressure is just coming from 180 degrees all around you.
Snap, spot kick is up and good. It's the first career touchdown for Bryant James. And it's now 42-0. The Adams themselves cover the over-under presented by Jack's Data at 37.5. They were already favored by 10.5, but they have told Jack's Data that that's just a low bar. We'll just go ahead and crush it at the moment. Here's a good-looking return. All the way near the 40-yard line. That is what you need to get back on the horse as Devin Lloyd gets the return. Go ahead, Eldon. Go ahead.
Oh no, and that's the thing is sometimes that over under that line can sometimes be bulletin board material. Everyone that's an SFL player in the chat knows exactly what I'm talking about. Where you feel slighted if you miss out on like a power ranking or whatever, and you're like, okay, we're gonna play that much harder this week. We're gonna scout that much harder this week.
Let's go for the outside. It is caught for a gain of 4 by Weston. It's already history for Albuquerque. This will be the largest amount of points scored by this Albuquerque Adam franchise in their young history. And unfortunately for Pittsburgh, this will be the most amount of, well, right now it's the second most amount of points they have given up in their young history, giving up 44 to Canton earlier this season, as Churchill gains maybe 2 on the play. Bryant James there on the stop. Third and 4 now for Pittsburgh, looking to try and recover from a 1 out of 6 third down conversions in the first half. As pass left side caught. That's a good way to get back in rhythm. Good catch by the tight end Wheeler, and that moves the chains.
Yeah, and it's a great pass to the outside there. And again, we're just gonna see that little out route towards the sidelines. Again, it was double coverage that was on him at one point, but that little out route to the sideline just breaks the double coverage, and it provides the opportunity for Brown.
Four wide receivers here for Michael Brown. He will look to throw. 5-man rush from Albuquerque. Pass near side. Trying to turn and find the ball is Weston. But he's been pretty locked down here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really been, I think, a big part of why Pittsburgh thus far have been blanked is the fact that the big offensive weapon for Pittsburgh in terms of the receiving core has really been keyed in upon just all game long.
Tight end in motion here on second down. As looking to pass, Brown middle, caught Weston inside the 30. First down, Riverhogs.
And they're marching. They're not. I really have to give Pittsburgh a lot of credit for how they've continued to march on this drive. The passing up the middle, down the sidelines, they're really, and I should say Michael Brown in particular, is doing a good job working the opportunities that his offensive line are setting up for him.
It's coming, pass middle, caught inside the 15-yard line. Devin Lloyd puts them in makeable field goal range.
And dare I say it, that Michael Brown is almost managing to find a rhythm. The blitzes are still coming. The pressure is still fast and frantic by Albuquerque. But Michael Brown, as you see there, has crossed the 100-yard mark.
5 consecutive completions from Michael Brown, getting Pittsburgh into the red zone as he'll hand it off up the middle for Churchill, who drags 2 defenders for a gain of 7.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, if there is to be a comeback, I don't want to curse it either way, but it's really does start with drives like this where you recover, you do the things that you can do well.
Go back in motion now toward the weak side. Handoff middle. Churchill stood up at the line of scrimmage. Good stop at the point of attack by Patterson. That brings up third down.
Yeah, a really makeable third down. But again, the question becomes, like, what do you do from here? I mean, man, it's been so hard for Pittsburgh to run up the middle.
They've already converted on 1 third down. Play action. Brown just having to try and take off and run, trying to go the outside, but he is contained nicely by Porter. Another sack by this Albuquerque defense. Their 4th, 5th tonight.
Yeah, and man, as we mentioned, really Michael Brown has that ability in his back pocket to tuck it and run, and he can do that really well when the pressure is coming, but just not quite able to evade the pressure because it's coming into the backfield.
Kick is up, and they finally get the donut off the board, and they now have 3 points. Every comeback's got to start somewhere, and maybe that gives them a little bit of hope.
Listen, we've seen all kinds of crazy things. We've got the SFL historian watching this game. He knows exactly how crazy things can get in this league. It would be one of the craziest, but who's to say? Who's to say?
The return up the middle, and we're getting told that might have been Eric Price on the run. Knight gets it all the way to 32. And if you want to go ahead and be one of our broadcasters, your time is now to get your voice on the call. We are looking for passionate SFL participants to join our broadcast team for the continuation of SFLM Season 9, kicking off next month. Please visit simfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and be one of the biggest difference makers in the future of SFL action. Good 2-yard run from Jason Williams. He's up 2nd and 8. A little over 5.5 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Albuquerque just trying to salt this one away. Blitz coming, and they do get home. Good defensive scheme, and it's Farrier in on another tackle for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we've seen Albuquerque do with the ball. Plug up the hole in the middle and then send the pressure around the outside, and it works to perfection for Pittsburgh there.
We're wide here on third down. Blitz coming from the Riverhawks. Pump once, jive. Now unloads toward the sideline. Michael Knight couldn't haul it in. In coverage was Tom Craig, and it sets up fourth down. And here we go. A good stop on defense for these Riverhawks. Hey, Alden?
Yeah, exactly. And chaining them together is really the thing. You've got to be tough. You've got to have that mentality of it doesn't matter how many scores we're down. We're not out. That's the secret, that any given Sunday mentality, or any given Friday, I guess, in this case.
No return. This time from Ben Harrison. And they will set up shop on 32-yard line. So they got some points last time, Alden. They marched down the field to get that field goal. Do you try and come out with the same mindset here, or do you think, all right, now we got to make sure we get a touchdown here. We're going to try and build on that.
I do think you really do have to have the mentality of we can score a touchdown here.
Pass middle, Weston with the catch on the little crossing route for 6 yards.
And even if it's little chunk yards like this, I mean, you've got to have that mentality of we're down but not out. That's really the big secret to any comeback, but especially a big comeback, is believing that you're not out of it yet, and you can manifest that into reality perhaps.
Run, and going for maybe 3 yards is Churchill. They'll bring up third and short. Just beyond their 40-yard line. They need to get to around the 42 to convert. I formation. Possibly a run here. Indeed it is. Up the middle. Good first down carry from Blitz.
Yeah, and that is just so crucial. I mean, we talk about how they've really struggled with these conversions. 2 for 9 currently on third downs as of that conversion, or I should say 3 for 10.
Run, and it gets blown up before it can even get started. Churchill was hit as soon as he received the football from Brown.
Man, and that's the thing about the pressure from Albuquerque, is they're just getting into the backfield so readily. You know, they plug up the middle, and then they just send the pressure around the ends, and they just get into the backfield. I mean, there's nothing more to it.
Blitz coming, pass just beyond the extended reach of his intended target. And one thing we really haven't mentioned today here, Alden, is Albuquerque loves playing at home. All 4 of their wins so far have come here at home. If they're looking to make the postseason, they're going to have to try and win one of their final couple road games to make the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of
Pass near side, wide open. Connor Weston scooting behind the coverage inside the 10, and he's down at the 10-yard line. Connor Weston coming out of nowhere.
Man, and that is the kind of play that Pittsburgh have needed all day long so desperately. Michael Brown picks up the big pass to the sideline there and just puts it past the green shirt there, and that is so huge for Pittsburgh. To your point about Albuquerque, they've got 2 away games coming up in the back stretch of this season. Bossier City, I can never say it right, in week 4. Bossier City, and Los Angeles in a division game as their finale. So I think both of those games are winnable for them.
Churchill on the give from just inside the 10, picks up a couple of yards. Bryant James in on the stop around the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal. The wide receiver near side has about 10, 12 yards between him and the next closest DB. Albuquerque may be expecting a run here. No, indeed, it's a pass. It's a pass from Price to Weston, and he can't haul it in. Excellent coverage on the outside. Take a look again. It's Daniel Valentine who was Johnny on the spot there.
Yeah, just got his hand in there and able to deflect that one. But man, that was just such a fantastic pitch and catch. I mean, it really had to be the perfect defensive coverage there.
Brown checks back into the game under center with 4 wide. 5-man rush from the Adams pass middle. Caught! Touchdown, Ben Harrison!
This is just a great example of, again, running the route in a way that disrupts the coverage, because that is double coverage that's being set up, but it's the little corner route that he just goes around them, and then you see Brown setting up the pass like, oh, I'll take that. Dink.
First touchdown of the season for Ben Harrison, as the extra point is up and good, and Pittsburgh will get double digits on the scoreboard tonight. That's Ben Harrison's 3rd career SFL touchdown. And now they will try and kick it off and have their defense come out, who has done a phenomenal job already in this second half, containing this already explosive and dynamic offense, as the offense has yet to score in this half. They scored all their points in the first half, and the defense was the only one, courtesy of a Bryant James scoop and score, to extend this lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is that Pittsburgh, I mean, man, if you can get a quick stop, or even better, get a forced turnover, the complexion of this game, I think, changes heading into the 4th quarter if that happens.
Adams looking to go aggressive here. They spread the field with 5 wideouts. Jive alone under center. Will look to pass right side. Floats it over 2 defenders into the awaiting arms of Michael Knight.
And we're seeing Pittsburgh going as aggressive can be, making these big jumping plays up the middle and landing a little bit out of position, but a great pitch and catch there. But man, it is going to be Pittsburgh. We're going to see them going aggressive, and Cyrus Jive creeping up on 250 now.
Such a pretty pass from Jive. Just floats it in there above Kane Vasquez's awaiting arms, and the handoff now, the delayed one, goes for 10 more, as Jason Williams having himself a night as well. Over 50 yards now on the ground.
Yeah, and you see there the passing attempts for Cyrus Jive, 7 for 10 on his previous passing attempts. I mean, that's really been such a crucial part of the offense for Albuquerque, is not only his yardage, but the fact that he's stringing them together so consecutively.
Late handoff goes for about 3 yards. Heavy hit from Gino McFly. I haven't called his name too much here tonight, but he gets the tackle.
Yeah, and that's really what you got to do as Pittsburgh, just hard-nosed defense, especially if they're going to stick with these little pitch and catch routes by Cyrus Jive.
Fullback handoff. Here's a good one from Justin Williams for a first down here for the Adams, as that looks to close out this 3rd quarter.
Well, how's about that for splitting the difference, partner? You talk about how you like old school fullback play and power running play. Got a little bit of both there.
Absolutely. As the final second of this 3rd quarter will trail down. Pittsburgh scored 10 in the 3rd quarter, but Albuquerque come away with a defensive score to extend their lead a little bit. It's 42-10 in favor of the Adams when we come back to Albuquerque.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Thank you, Curtis. Tyler Falk and Alden Bleeker here live from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Happy to have your company. A special shout out to our statisticians, Andrew Gibson, Corey Menner, and Jadoobie Doo. And of course, a special thanks as well goes to our SFL commissioner, who's our producer for every SFL game, Mr. Cameron Irvine, as the first play out of the quarter break is a 5-yard pickup to Jason Williams. And I think that deserves a like, because I don't think we have enough likes on this video as it stands already. So smash that like button and subscribe to the channel If you haven't already, make sure you've got notifications on so you won't miss a minute of SFL and SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. 2nd and 5 will also be a handoff. Trying to get through the middle, lowering his shoulder, is Craig Reynolds for a gain of about 4.5.
Man, 3rd and inch. This has got to be one of the closest 3rd and inches I think I've ever seen in my 10-year calling SFL games.
Length of a football, and it's an easy pickup from Jason Williams, spinning out of a tackle, and tackle just inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for the Adams, and it's plays like that, crucial 3rd down pickups, which they have thrived on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really been one of the core differences. 3rd down efficiency, 5 for 11 for Pittsburgh, and it's been so huge for Albuquerque.
They officially 5 of 10, a good 50% for the Adams, as the run goes maybe for half a yard, if that the Adams are lucky. Or excuse me, 5 of 9. That's that tally now on 3rd down, as they come out with 5 wide. Not a whole lot of space to run these big plays. We'll see what Albuquerque does here. He throws off his back foot, somehow finds K. Marion near the 1-yard line. And I'll tell you what here, Alden, Cyrus Jive looks like a completely different player from just a season ago when he was in Portland.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, sometimes it's hard to tell exactly what it is, whether it's the receiving, whether it's the coaching, whether it's just a change in the home cooking, but whatever it is, the combination of those factors has really transformed him.
High formation, 3rd and goal, handoff, Jason Williams out of a tackle, and he's in for another Adam touchdown, and they just pushed their record even further to 48 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into this game, the most points that they had posted was a 34 points in a loss to the Baltimore Vultures, my Baltimore Vultures, where they posted 51 points. So I think they could quite easily top that total before everything's said and done in this game. The 51 points by Baltimore, that is.
And that was the most points allowed. The most points that Albuquerque scored prior to was 34 against the Vultures. And we just take a look at the team stats, and while it doesn't look too out of whack, those rushing totals for Pittsburgh kind of told the story. Adams have really stymied them there.
And it's really been, even the difference in passing yards, it's been just the absolutely relentless pressure by Albuquerque, sending it every time around the sides.
2 fumbles from this rushing attack for Pittsburgh, not helping matters here. One of them being taken from a scoop and score for Bryant James, and that's where we see this 49-10 score line. And you know, this is another bright moment here for Pittsburgh. These good little returns from Devin Lloyd and Ben Harrison are stuff to work forward. These are your newer members of your organization, your new organization. And I think these 2 guys, Lloyd and Harrison, are probably people you really want to have being mentored by Connor Weston in trying to develop their skill sets, develop their wide receiver abilities to make them better targets for Brown and Price to throw to. As you know, what else is working is this halfback flip off to Mike Churchill, who is getting another 6 yards, the former wide receiver now as a tailback.
Yeah, and I think if you're Pittsburgh, you really got to kind of look at your unorthodox tools that you have as well. These like designed running back passes to the outside, the fact that Michael Brown can just tuck it and run nearly better than any quarterback in the league. You know, you got to look within to see what you need to do from without.
Run, and it perfectly illustrates my earlier point. Good tackle there from Keenan Samuels, and it sets up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, man, 3 tackles and an interception. I mean, Keenan Samuels has had such impact for Albuquerque.
Spread eye look. Blitz coming. Fumble. Picked up again. The 3rd fumble of the night. Leo Jefferson with a massive hit. It'll be a sack fumble. 3rd sack of the night. Possibly even his 4th, if I remember correctly. Indeed, his 4th sack of the night resulted in a fumble, and it's recovered by Joshua Williams. And it's been that kind of night for this Albuquerque defense.
And if in a world where Cyrus Drive is not such a factor on offense, I would give the game ball to Leo Jefferson.
Run through the gut by Williams, a gain of 8. And right now, partner, I think it's not over yet, but it's more and more looking like an Albuquerque victory. They're going to move to 5 wins at this point.
My grandpa used to have an expression he would like to say when we watch would watch football. The fat lady's not singing yet, but she's hitting her scales. She's warming up.
She's definitely warming up. 2nd and 2 here for the Adams. They will go on a little bit of a break next week as Williams picks up another 1st down. This time being the Justin Williams variety. Fullback dive, picks up about maybe 5 yards. So they get week 12 will be their final bye week, and then they'll have one more home game here at the Norto when they play another expansion franchise in Chicago, who also sits currently at 1-7. Another handoff here from Jason Williams, going for maybe 2 yards. And then they get their final road trip. They'll play Bossier City in Louisiana, and then they'll finish off on the West Coast playing Los Angeles. And right now, the way this team's playing, if they can just take this form on the road, Alden, this is going to be a very tough team to play in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we talk about this being sort of an outside shot. I don't think it's such an outside shot for them to see that spot.
Pass middle, Knight alone. It plays like that. The offensive line, I tip my cap to them. Queen Porter, Jarian Jones, and Leah Williams have done a phenomenal job giving Cyrus Jive plenty of time to find his receivers here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And that statistic really says it all. A quarterback rating of 150.7. And every receiver has been involved as a result. Just the time to set up Michael Knight over 100 yards, crossing the century mark.
2 touchdowns, no picks. Jason Williams looking for something up on the right side. A late flag comes in. Our first one of the night. It's going to be a face mask call on Pittsburgh, adding insult to injury. It's a free 1st down at the 1-yard line for Albuquerque. And right now, I feel for Pittsburgh here, Alden. Yeah. It's just not been the game that they wanted to come out and play tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, you had good things going for you, but you were just so, the defensive scouting had them dead to rights in terms of what to focus in on.
And off left side, Jason Williams. It's a 50-burger for Albuquerque. It's the largest amount of points they have scored. And it's probably going to be the largest margin of victory in their young franchise history. Yet another touchdown, his 4th of the game for Thrilliams.
Yeah, man. And it has been the Albuquerque show, whether it's on offense, whether it's on defense, Cyrus Jive, the run game. Just the sheer fact that Leo...
Kick is up and good. 56-10 is your scoreline here. And while Pittsburgh might not be officially eliminated from postseason contention, this loss will eliminate any hopes of a late season divisional run at that North Division. It was on its final legs here tonight. Unfortunately, will go for naught. Another good little return here from Devin Lloyd, as he gets it all the way up to the 34-yard line. They will finish their season on the road in Baltimore, their final road game of their inaugural season. And then they go on their bye week in week 13. And finally, they will play Los Angeles and Queen City, both back home in Pittsburgh, to round out their first season, which there's a lot of game planning, a lot of work to do in the offseason for Pittsburgh. They will get a draft. Finally, both of these teams will get a draft to fill in some holes, to strengthen their lineup, and to bolster their communities. That's almost a brilliant interception on the outside by Torrey James.
And that's a good call as well. I think, not only do you have to have the presence on the field, but it's really something that SFL GMs learn at some point in their team's lifespan, that you got to build a culture. You got to have that locker room. And it's a delicate thing. You got to figure out what your locker room is like, and you got to find people, guys and gals, and figure out how they fit into that culture.
Flip out right side. Churchill gains about 5 as they go into the hurry up. Meanwhile, Canton just got an interception. They lead Los Angeles 17-13, just beginning the fourth quarter. Pass right side, overshooting Connor Weston. That brings up 4th down, and right now you've got nothing to lose, and Brown and Price will stand out there. They're trying to convert on 4th down.
Yeah, and really can't fault them for trying to convert here. I mean, again, playing for pride is not unimportant. It gets you footage and it gets you experience on your players.
They have been unable to convert a 4th down this season. This for the first of their franchise. Cook, flip out, Churchill. That's a positive note for Pittsburgh as they convert their first franchise 4th down. As now they look to pass again. Right side, Connor Weston, nothing doing. Great coverage from Bryant James on the outside, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, man, and a thing to hang your hat on, even when you're down in situations like this. Okay, we've got things that we can do on offense. We can continue to move even in, bad situations like this. Just focus on the things that you do well.
Out right side, and that one is caught for a gain of 3. Meanwhile, LA just forces a 3 and out, and they might start in good field position as the punt is away from Canton as Brown looks to throw. It's intercepted again. Bryant James looking to double dip, looking for 2 defensive touchdowns in one game, and he does it. 62 points scored by Albuquerque, 21 of them by their defense.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing here is really sort of a continuation, because those of you that recall the SFL M version of the Albuquerque Adams, you'll recall how they were really just running everyone over on offense. But that, as hard as it is to say, because I believe they won the SFLM championship that season, it feels kind of hard to say that they were one-dimensional, but this has really been an Albuquerque team that is fully three-dimensional, fully realized. They've got pressure coming constantly on defense. They've got run game. Cyrus Jive has turned into, I would say, one of the more menacing quarterbacks in the league. Every receiver is involved. And this is an Albuquerque team that if you let them slip into the playoffs, they could be one of those dark horse teams that makes a deep run. It's very within their purview, very within their power.
Kickoff is just about on its way here. Just a little over 3.5 to go here in the game as Devin Lloyd on the return, trying to get through the middle. And that one gets to the 28-yard line. Meanwhile, Chris Lee with a huge catch over the middle, and he will march deep into Canton territory as LA trying to make it a game late.
Yeah, two games that started off as one-sided, and both teams trying to make a comeback here.
It's 1st and 10 for LA at the 24-yard line. Meanwhile, here in Pittsburgh, 4 wide here for Michael Brown, who's under center. Possible blitz coming here for Albuquerque. Flip out right side. Mike Churchill on the run, trying to go to the outside, gets out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Meanwhile, 5-yard pickup from GP Wells as they march inside the red zone over in Los Angeles. I'm calling both games.
I didn't want to call attention to it because I didn't know if that's allowed, but you sure are, partner.
Oh my. Meanwhile, Week 11 continues tomorrow, headlined by a key clash in the Central Division between 5-4 Lexington and 6-2 Minnesota at 6:45 p.m. Eastern, plus Houston and Indianapolis, Fort Worth and Louisiana, and Denver and DC kicks off starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. You can always catch the SFL action right here on SFL YouTube as Brown looks to pass over the middle. Weston's got it near the 43-yard line. Back to the hurry up they go. Meanwhile, 3rd and 5. Crucial 3rd and 5 for Sully Richardson. Looking middle. One-handed snag for LZ Pryor. Inside the 10, it's 1st and goal for LA. As a beautiful catch here by the 10 end Keith Wheeler at the 36-yard line. And they are flying down the field now. Blitz coming from the outside. Brown looking middle. Caught by Weston. Turning upfield, grabbing 9 yards.
This is why you're the highest paid intern in SFL history, Tyler.
And here comes Brown. Middle. Weston inside the 10 himself. Both games now in the opposing red zones. That one down to the 8-yard line. Split backfield for both teams. Brown looking middle again. Weston is nearly intercepted. Handoff up the middle for GP Wells. He gets it to about the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal LA.
Shades of a young Kevin Harlan. Oh my goodness.
They now go 4 wide. Trips off to Michael Brown's right. Here from Albuquerque. 4-man rush. Brown middle. Caught. Touchdown. Keith Wheeler for Pittsburgh. And they now have 17. Meanwhile, touchdown Los Angeles. They're now within a field goal over in LA.
When you're in the zone, I try to stay out of your way, but man, this is a really good march down the field by Pittsburgh. Really good march down the field in the other game as well. Man, that one threatening to become a game late.
And we'll shoot it back to a game break quickly from Kevin Irvine before the onside kick here.
As if Tyler needs any help, but here's what you missed. Visually, Darius Aniga is in the end zone. LA's been knocking on the door all night long on Canton. It's now just a 7-point game, 17-10. Legendary stuff, Ty. Well, back to you.
It's like, when you're watching a baseball game and you turn on the radio broadcast instead of the TV.
It's bobbled, and Pittsburgh recover! They will get a chance to make the unthinkable happen with 2:40 to go here in the game. Meanwhile, there's a flag over on the return in the LA game, and it will be a block in the back. And so Canton is forced within their own 20-yard line to begin the drive, and they just went 3 and out on the drive before.
Man, and this is so close. So
right
close
side.
in that game.
Connor Weston, 1st down and more, up to the 48-yard line. 2:30 to go. Screen pass, Churchill steps out of bounds after 2 yards. 1st and 10 now here for Canton. Looking to try and put away the Lycans. Handoff goes for maybe about 5 yards, rolling over for a gain of about 7. 2nd and 3 over there, 2nd and 8 here.
That 7 yards helps Canton so much.
They enjoy 2nd and short. It really helps their methodical game plan. Brown passing right, good deflection here by Daniel Valentine, brings up 3rd down.
And man, threatening to end this game are Albuquerque. They want this ball back. They want to milk the clock down.
2:22 left in the game here as Logan Lee picks up the 1st down for Canton past their own 30-yard line. 4 wide here for Pittsburgh. Coverage about 5 yards off the outside receivers. Blitz coming. Flip out pass again for Churchill, who is dragged down a yard shy of the line to gain by Keaton Samuels. Clock continues to run.
Yeah, and the 2-minute warning coming up, they're certainly going to go for it and avoid using a timeout for it as well.
Will they get the ball height before the 2-minute warning? Yes, they do. Michael Brown looking over the middle, incomplete, nearly picked up by Keaton Samuels. And it's a turnover on downs here as we hit the 2-minute warning from Albuquerque. 63-17. We're all just ready to hit on the airplanes. As we're welcoming back here to New Mexico, Tyler Falk, Alden Bleeker here for the final 2 minutes of play. And we'll see a lot of running and a lot of kneeling here from this Adams offense. They have already clinched more than likely the victory. They also need to see it out. Logan Lee is a yard shy of the 1st down on 2nd down, so it's 3rd and 1 and a massive 3rd down play upcoming for the LA defense as the first run here from Jason Williams gains about 4 yards. And here comes the timeout train here for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and they've got 3 timeouts, so they can potentially get a stop here.
right now. Again, Jason Williams, 4 rushing touchdowns today. He was the star of the late show for this Albuquerque offense as Robert Johnson picks up the first down for Canton. A brilliant run, got some excellent blocks on the outside, and a timeout coming here for LA. No timeout. They just get a first down, and now Albuquerque looking to try and continue to milk the clock here. Goal line eye here for Albuquerque. Handoff, Jason Williams. He bounced out of a wimpy tackler, trying to look to the outside. He's inside the 30 now. 1st and 10 and out of bounds for the Adams as they look to try and put this one away. And it's been another good running game from Jason Williams. Over 100 yards with that last carry now on the ground. And it's been little that Pittsburgh have been able to do all night long to stop it. It's something that this Pittsburgh coaching staff will look at to try and fix for games and seasons to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got pieces that you can build around, but yeah, man, tonight has been one that's not going to live long in the memory, I don't think.
Fullback dive for the backup tailback pass. And another timeout coming here for Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, 2nd and 7 after a 3-yard pickup on the ground. There for Canton. They'll try and go to the ground again. Robert Johnson stop behind the line. A good stop by Monte Wyatt at the line of scrimmage. And it's 3rd and 7 at the 2-minute warning. Big 3rd down coming there in that game. 2nd down coming here as we are just about to wrap things up and send you all over to Los Angeles for the conclusion of that game. Another fullback dive here. And it's pass. No, not pass. It is Justin Williams now back in the game. He gains a couple more yards. And here comes the play here for Los Angeles. Out of the warning. It's another run for Robert Johnson. He will not get the first down. The safeties clog the middle. And it will force a Canton punt.
That is absolutely huge. Los Angeles with 2 minutes on the clock and 2 timeouts. This is so doable for Los Angeles.
Los Angeles still not out of the playoff picture. They're 2-6, and if things continue to go their way, if they can win out, they stand a chance at maybe picking up a last-second wild card slot as the kneel downs will continue here. One more kneel down will send us to the end of the game here. 63-17, largest margin of victory here for Albuquerque, the most points scored here for the Adams. It's been a day to remember for them, a day to whitewash if you're a Pittsburgh fan.
Yeah.
And now to LA's offense comes onto the field.
Yeah, and Cyrus Jive, man, the defense, just every piece was working for Albuquerque today.
And all slants. Oh, it's picked off! Going back the other way, it bobbled off of the chest plate. A logo of Chris Lee, and Canton will scoop it and score for a late defensive touchdown.
I don't believe what I've just seen. That is going to end it. I mean, the man, just an awkward bobble up into the air, and that is a fantastic way to end this game. Canton sealing it just as this game comes to an end.
16 seconds to go. Pittsburgh got a punt to go their way, and now they'll have a chance to maybe put some last-second exclamation point on this game. Michael Brown looking near side, caught by Connor Weston, getting out of bounds near the 28-yard line. 12 seconds to go there in that one. It's a 14-point ball game again over Los Angeles. The Lycans will need a miracle over on that one. You can also catch that game here on SFL YouTube.
Both kinds of Hail Marys going to come out here, both the pass and the prayer, I would imagine, for Los Angeles.
4 wideouts here for Michael Brown, looking for maybe some hope. He's completed a little over 60% of his passes tonight, which is a good stat per se. But it's just been some unfortunate timing that has left them alone. Screen pass right side. Gains about 6. They have no timeouts. The game will end here in Albuquerque. 63-17, your final score. Albuquerque with the convincing, dominating performance comes away with the victory. They move to 5-4. Albuquerque moved to 1-8. Alden, let's wrap up here and send these folks over to Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a complete performance by Albuquerque. That's all that really needs to be said. The yardage was similar, but Cyrus Jive was amazing. The defense was just sending constant pressure. The receivers were all involved. A complete victory by Albuquerque, and they're going to look to carry this momentum towards the end of the season.
Current play right now is a 5 wide receiver look on 2nd and 10. We'll let you get over there and check out the end of that one. GG's to Albuquerque and Pittsburgh, and we'll talk to you later. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.